Ang sa buong sansinukob ang pinaka-eskandalosong revelasyon na yayanig sa bawat hibla ng ating kasaysayan at tila isang tsunami na tatangay sa buong Malacanang ngayong gabi. Sa isang hindi inaasahang kaganapan na tila kidlat na tumama sa gitna ng katahimikan, ang tunay na nangyari di umano kay Pangulong Bongbong Marcos ay hindi na raw maitatago pa matapos ang mahabang panahon ng pagkubli sa likod ng mga selyadong pader ng palasyo. Ayon sa ating mga espiyang nakatago sa bawat madilim na kanto, huling-huli sa kamera ang panginginig ng mga security detail habang ang mga itim na sasakyan ay nagkakaripas ng takbo upang ilikas ang katotohanang ang trono ay wala na raw nakaupo sa gitna ng nagbabagang crisis na pilit na binubura sa internet. Hindi makapaniwala ang buong mundo sa nakakangilong eksenang ito kung saan ang Vice Presidente Sara Duterte ay balitang handang-handa na raw pumalit at humawak sa timon ng kapangyarihan sa gitna ng matinding kaba ng kanyang mga kalaban. Ayon sa mga saksing nasa loob mismo ng mga selyadong opisina, tila tumigil ang pag-ikot ng mundo nang mamataan ang mga dokumentong selyado ng ginto at bakal na inihahanda na para sa isang biglaang panunumpa na magbabago sa kapalaran ng bawat Pilipino habang buhay. Ang bawat pasilyo ng kapangyarihan ay nababalot ngayon ng matinding takot habang ang mga pader ay tila naglalaway sa sindak dahil salamat na hindi na kailanman mabubura ng anumang yaman habang ang agila ng Davao ay muling nakatayo ng matikas sa gitna ng kaguluhan. Ito na nga ba ang huling kabanata ng isang matikas na paghahari o ito ay simula lamang ng isang madugong labanan sa kapangyarihan kung saan wala ng sino mang itatangi sa lupit ng tadhana at ng batas na walang kinikilalang posisyon?
Baka may makita tayong maraming pera kung isinampina yung account ni President Marcos. Were there not any attempts to likewise expand the Marcos, the immediate family? Baka may makita rin tayong maraming pera sa mga kamag-anak niya. Were there also attempt to expand the subpoena to look into the sum end of all the relatives in government of President Marcos? Bakit kay VP Sara lang? That is one major point in this petition. The equal protection clause of the Constitution must be respected. It cannot apply only against VP Sara if it has not been applied by the House of Representatives to a prior respondent in the person of President Marcos. Thank you.
Just a quick so that the public can really have a grasp of what we are talking about here. What Attorney Vic Rodriguez was referring to vis-a-vis the Equal Protection Clause and explained further by Attorney J.B. Hinlo was the ruling of the Committee on Justice before about the impeachment complaint against President Marcos. They issued Committee Resolution 111. And accordingly, according to the committee, the complaint against President Marcos was insufficient in substance, and therefore it was dismissed because it lacked ultimate facts which would describe the complaint as amounting to the crimes that are described under the 1987 Constitution as impeachable, such as drafted corruption, grave violation of the 1987 Constitution, bribery, other high crimes, etc. So, since the complaints there did not amount to ultimate facts describing the complaints as those crimes, similar to those crimes, or exactly those crimes, mandated or described in the 1987 Constitution, then therefore, the case was dismissed. Kaya dito, ganun din eh. Ganun din ang nangyari, walang ultimate facts na mag-describe sa mga kaso na
Hindi lang ho gumagalaw yung video pero ano yan, tuloy-tuloy lang. Medyo naglalag lang ho yung video pero yung audio tuloy-tuloy ho.
ang corruption na yun kay VP Sara mismo, grave violation of Constitution na yun, other high crimes na yun, iwala eh. Kaya nga, sinasabi namin that
May sumili pa. Hindi pa ho natin pag-uusapan yung mga
what is good for the gander should likewise be good for the goose. And i-dismiss nyo doon kay Presidente Marcos, dapat dito rin kay VP Sara, i-dismiss ninyo. And doon kay Presidente Marcos, hindi nga kayo nag-issue ng mga sabpina eh. Dito, mga sabpina ninyo, maski mga tao walang pinapasagpi na. Anong klase yan? Pati law firms, pinapasagpi na. Pati yung mga ibang mga entities na hindi described sa complaint, pinapasagpi na. That is overreach to our mind. And by the way, we are joined by Attorney Wendell Abisado and Attorney ating pong kaibigan, no? Si Attorney James Reserva of Butuan. Why? Because some people intend to later on.
Wala na ho tayong maraming segue dahil ika nga gusto ho nating namnamin ang sasabihin ng ating ika nga mga kapanalig dito sa issue na to ng impeachment at kung anong klaseng kabalbala ng mga pinagagawa nila dyan sa House of Representatives. Wala na ho tayong maraming segue.
Thank you very much, Attorney Torion. We have questions here from the media. We have Hector Lawas from abogado.com.ph for Attorney Torion. Is the petition premature in as much as the camp of VP Sara says that the proper forum is the Senate and not the House Committee on Justice?
No, it's not premature. Specifically in this case, that the Committee on Justice already decided to issue a subpoena, and subpoena has in fact been issued. And therefore, we have the right to inquire as to whether or not it is within the power of the House of Representatives, specifically Committee on Justice, to conduct such investigation in such a manner as to, in fact, search for evidences when these evidences are not even attached in the complaint itself. The duty of the Committee on Justice, to our humble mind, is that it is a constitutional task to actually be the investigator itself and look for evidences in order to strengthen the case. They never did that to President Marcos. Why do it against VP Sara Duterte? That's an equal protection clause matter that deserves to be raised to the Supreme Court as the highest court of the land.
If I may add, sa sinabi ni Attorney Torion, alam mo ninyo, the reason why we go to the Supreme Court and file this petition for certiorari of prohibition, precisely because we are asking the court to intervene and allocate constitutional boundaries to this legislative overreach. Sumusunod side of the constitutional law, the House Committee, the House of Representatives Committee on Justice is already operating outside of the constitutional orbit. That is why we have decided, when they started issuing subpoena, to go to the Supreme Court. There is no other place simple and adequate remedy in the ordinary course. So 65, the certiorari and prohibition.
Thank you very much, Attorney Vic. Yes, a question from the floor. Good afternoon. Pam from Third Floor Studio. Do you expect that
Pumela to Busy.
the House's procedural process in handling the Vice President's impeachment? And what if they argue that your initiative is political, given that the PDP brand is strongly reflected in your composition? First question is, do you expect this filing to test the veracity of the House's procedural
Not
process?
just to test, but to strike down this legislative overreach. That is the primary purpose. We are not here to test the constitutional process being observed in the House of Representatives. It is our position that there is a clear violation of the Constitution. And that is why, again, we ran to the Supreme Court precisely for the court to intervene and allocate constitutional boundaries in this burning issue that we are all dealing with today. For the second,
The second question is, what if they argue that your initiative is political given that the PDP brand is strongly reflected in your composition?
Well, it's up to them. As sila rin naman lagi nagsasabi na yung
Malupit yung tanong na yun. malupit yung tanong na
impeachment
yun.
process is more political than legal, which is also wrong. Because in the decision of then by Senior Associate Justice Mabitionen, while acknowledging that impeachment is a sui generis, sinabi rin doon malinaw that it is not exclusively political but rather a play of both legal and political. And we come here, I speak for myself, again, to try to strike down the unconstitutional process being observed in the House of Representatives. And secondly, to put a stop, to put a break, preno muna dito sa wanton waste of public funds. The people are already hard up. Our public coffers are already bleeding. Nauuwi sa korupsyon, and they are busy with wanton waste of public funds and public resources. That is my reason for joining as one of the petitioner.
If I may add, no, para maintindihan ko ng ating mga kababayan, tinayin po namin ito kasi kung tingnan mo kahapon, yung ginagawa ng mga congresspersons natin, nakakaloka talaga, nakakaloka na. Bakit nakakaloka? Well, it has become a fishing expedition.
Fishing
The
expedition.
House Committee on Justice is supposed to limit itself in accordance with
Bababaran ho natin to. Kung kaya natin tapusin tong presko na to, tatapusin ho natin mga kababayan.
what is stated and contained in the impeachment complaint. It is not supposed to become the investigator and the evidence gatherer for the impeachment complaint. If it lacks sufficiency in form, it lacks sufficiency in substance, it only has one direction, and that is to dismiss the case. But what they are doing in this case is actually conducting a fishing expedition, which to our mind should be struck down by the Supreme Court because it has become an affront to the dictates or to the contours of the powers granted by the 1987 Constitution to the House of Representatives.
Last question from our end. Was it necessary or there is a violation in issuing subpoena to one of Vice President's defense lawyers, Attorney Powak, at this early stage?
That is precisely one of the reasons why the petition itself, because we are aware, all law students know the lawyer-client relationship. It is a cross-up. And if you actually involve the lawyer who is merely performing his job, then lawyers later on may not be able to perform his or her functions efficiently and effectively. That is similar to a priest-penitent relationship, governed not only by our rules but by our laws likewise. And to expand the impeachment complaints investigation and subpoena to the lawyer, to our mind, is really overreach and must be clipped by the Supreme Court. And that is why that's one of the reasons why we filed this case in the first place.
Another question here from Tech Torres, Tupas of Inquirer. Aside from the March 25 issuances, are there specific documents or witnesses that the committee is targeting that you believe fall entirely outside the original allegations? Are there specific documents or witnesses the committee is targeting that fall outside the original allegations?
Actually, yes. I actually conducted a comparison chart, no, of the statements made in the complaint. There are actually 12. And they asked for subpoena 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of the 12. Okay? Just to give you a concrete example, no? So as to properly inform the inquirer on the matter, in the allegation of there is this allegation, Salden and explained wealth, non-disclosure theory, in the third complaint of Sapalia, Under Article 5, it invokes unexplained wealth and salary non-disclosure, alleges that respondent's salary could not explain hundreds of millions in her bank accounts, and concludes that she failed to disclose assets and true net worth. You can find this under paragraphs 285 to 290 of the complaint. And in the fourth complaint of Cabrera, under Article 5, it refers to preliminary documentary leads, public records, omissions and inconsistencies in salaries, suspicious cash flows, possible nominee arrangement, and asks for bank records and forensic accounting that can be found in paragraphs 233 and paragraphs 247 to 2022 and 2020. It's for ITRs of VP Sara and Manasseh Carpio. It's subpoenaed the SEC general information sheets, audited financial statements, and corporate documents of multiple companies which are not even stated in the complaint. SEC corporate records motions approved. So, our remark here, our comment is that this is with specificity. That violations is evidence, not in the complaint, and that the corporation were not mentioned or included in the complaint. This committee was not politically clean for one. So that is just one example. I can cite to you 9 other examples, and for lack of material time, I can just send to you a comparison chart to prove my point that the committee here is not actually investigating. It is conducting a clear fishing expedition which is not sanctioned under the 1987 Constitution or in the rules of the House of Representatives.
Yes. To assist the point of Attorney Torion, in the recent cases of Sara Duterte versus HOR and Torion et al. Versus HOR, the polity in this case, Justice Leonen, has specifically stated that one of the reasons why the original impeachment process was struck down is because under paragraph 6, the basis of any charge must be for impeachable acts or omissions committed in relation to their office and during the current term of the impeachable officer. The subpoenas for the son-in of VP Sara for the years where she was still mayor of Davao City and not yet vice president should actually not fall under the ambit of this current investigation process of the Committee of Justice. We can see here that there is really a fishing expedition to look at ano ba ang pwede nila tingnan para mabahira nila ng masamang komento ang ating Vice Presidente. It's clear that under due process only acts done during her very shaking na sa which is very, very wrong.
So, viral pa naman yan. Baka sabihin nila, ang example niya to yun sa kanya to. Is linked to respond to it does not specifically even when alleging unexplained wealth and non-disclosure in paragraphs 285 to 290. In Article 5, it speaks just structures, associates, relatives, or corporate
Sa kanyang ginagawa. If they want to continue, they want to continue. They will continue. Kaya namin, kaya naman ito problema. And if I may add to the question a while ago by EP Daniel, the reason why we run to the Supreme Court, because we are optimistic that because of the urgency and the importance of the issue at hand, the Supreme Court will not hesitate to strike down matters that are patently unconstitutional. Now, we do not want to get ahead of the entire judicial process. We will take it a day at a time. And again, as to the comment of the lawmaker part of the impeachment process, we are not saying that we stop right here, right now. No. Kung ihinto niya mabuti, because we're not going to personally benefit from it. Ang aming kinakatawan din dito, yung nagtulog muna ng public funds natin. Wala nang pera mga Pilipino. Ang dami na nilang inataw. Gutom na tao, and coming up here, I spoke to you briefly, and you just informed me, by next week, there will be another round of a fuel price increase. Ilang increase pa ba para matauhan sila na dapat ang tugunan muna itong hinaharap nating global economic, oil, and energy crisis, not this house-style impeachment that we are now hearing before the House of Representatives Committee on Justice.
Yes, to add to that, no, we all know that the Committee on Justice is acting akin to a prosecutor, same sa criminal cases. No? So what does a prosecutor do in cases like ito? It's just a preliminary investigation. Titingnan if what is included in the complaint matches whatever crime has been committed. And that should be the case in this impeachment also. We can see that there are so many issues na hindi nalagay sa complaint, pero gusto talaga nilang tingnan, balik-balikan. Let us be guided by the case of Duterte versus Sandigan Bayan. There are two purposes of a preliminary investigation. First is to secure the innocent against hasty, malicious, and oppressive persecution. Let's ask ourselves, ito ba ang ginagawa ng HOR ngayon, ng Committee on Justice? Are they doing anything hasty, malicious, or oppressive? The second is, it is a practical purpose, no, which is, sabi ni Atty. Vic talaga, this is something that we should think about. To protect the state from having to conduct useless and expensive trials. So we are already guided by the issuances of the Supreme Court before pa, or what really preliminary investigation is. So considering that it is the procedure of the HOR is akin to that of the prosecutor, should not we also be guided by these two guidelines. So that's the point that we are trying to make here as the petitioners in this certiorarities.
One last addition lang, no, doon kay Representative Joy Chua. Pakisabi lang ni Congressman, baka naman gusto nyo imbestigahan yung grabe pagtaas ng ating gasolina. Tayo ata ang the only country in the world na may pinakamataas, steep masyadong spike ng gasolina, which affected so many people na. If you go to my town, in Bansalan, in Matanao, Davao del Sur, mamahal ka ng mga bilihin doon. Yung sana pagtuunan ng pansin ng Kongreso, paano tayo makaarong dito sa malaking krisis ngayon? Hindi itong impeachment kay Bibi Sara, parang naman na politically driven ito at walang kabuluhan itong mga kasong ito. Kaya nga, dumulog na kami sa Korte Suprema Kasi, alam mo naman, dumulog kami doon sa Kongreso, hindi naman nila kami pakikinggan. So, dumulog na lang kami doon sa Korte Suprema. Imbestigahan nila itong ating malaki masyado yung presyo ng ating gasoline. Tayo ang may pinakamataas na spike sa buong Asya. Yes. Alam mo, bago ko final itong kaso na ito, nagpadala po ako ng sulat doon po sa Committee on Justice. The night before they began their proceedings, I wrote a letter. They never replied. Pero ang naging resulta naman, the day after, we withdraw yung second complaint. We withdraw yung second kasi doon sa letter ko, sabi ko kasi, yung first two complaints, Premature yun kasi that was before February 6. And the Supreme Court in Duterte versus House of Representatives and Torion versus House of Representatives was very clear. Any non-impeachment complaint should be filed no later than February 6. February 1 and 2 yun eh. So, sabi ko, dapat na-dismiss yun. Ang ginawa nila, pagka morning, 8:15, withdraw nila yung second complaint. Bakit withdraw? Kasi sabi ko, yung third complaint effective din yan, aside from being repackaged, ay tagalugin ko na lang ha. Nag-prove ko naman siguro sa inyo, marunong din ako mag-English. No? Yung third complaint kasi was sponsored by Representative De Lima. The second complaint likewise was sponsored by Secretary De Lima. Kaya nga sa opening statement ko, ang sabi ko, an endorsement is a sacrosanct process. Why? Because it gives legislative sanction on an act of an individual in filing a complaint before the House of Representatives, an impeachment complaint. Now, the representative therefore must also ensure and see to it that the